We are back at Whiskeytown Lake for another adventure, California Unearthed. I have my daughter Sam with me and a fellow adventurer, and we are going to head down to a very special place here in Shasta County. Personally for myself, it is the Whiskeytown Cemetery. Once we get down there, we'll give you a little bit of history and go check out the cemetery. But before we do that, Sam, you want to go swim out to the glory hole over there?
Thanks. I'm good.
No? Okay. All right, we're off. So this is Whiskeytown Cemetery. This was created around 1960, and just like the Central Valley Cemetery that was created because of the creation of Shasta Dam and Shasta Lake, this cemetery was created for the same reason, but for the creation of the Whiskeytown Dam and the Whiskeytown Lake. And so what they did was there was a couple of little towns that dotted the area that was going to be flooded by Whiskeytown. It was Oak Bottom, Whiskeytown itself, and they had a couple of little cemeteries in both communities. And what they did was they took the remains of the people in those cemeteries and brought them here and created this cemetery. The cemetery is about a mile down from the lake. We were just over at the Kennedy Memorial, which is right next to the dam, and you go down the road about a mile and you get to here. This is kind of a remote area for the cemetery. There's not a whole lot here. I know there's the Need Camp where a lot of the school-age children come each year for 1 week, and that is just down the road a little ways. Other than that, there's not much in this area. It's kind of all by itself down here at the end of the road. So let's go check out the cemetery. There is one spot I have to go to first. My Aunt Jean and my two cousins are buried at the cemetery, and I have to pay my respects to them first, and then we will take a look around. Now, what makes this cemetery so unique, and unlike any other cemetery that anybody's really seen, is that you can pretty much do whatever you want out here as far as decorating the cemetery or decorating the headstones. Like I said, this is my Aunt Jean. Passed away in 1997, and my two cousins are also laid to rest here. And my cousin Kenny put that can of Coke here about a year and a half ago, maybe two, and it still sits here. So that's the thing about this place, is not a whole lot of vandals and not a whole lot of disrespect. You put something out here, it usually pretty much stays. People don't mess with it too much. And as you can tell, it goes up the hill there. But the thing about this cemetery, is to take a little walk around, is that it is no longer an active cemetery for burials. The county has stopped burials here for right now. They may redo or open it back up for burials at some point, but for right now, they have stopped. So we're going to go up the hill here and see what we got. This is a pretty big cemetery. And they did a study back in 1975. And by I mean that was Whiskeytown National Park System, did a survey of the cemetery in 75, about 15 years after it was created. And there was about 60 people interned in the cemetery at that point. Now there is well over 1,000. And the kind of what's cool about this place is the best time to come here is just about dusk. And the reason for that is there's a lot of wildlife in this area because, like I said, it's a very remote area. So you come out here at dusk and you'll run into deer, bear, mountain lions, coyotes, all sorts of wildlife. Obviously be careful with the bears and the mountain lions. But unfortunately, you also have your infamous rattlesnakes you gotta be watching out for in here. But other than that, don't let that deter you from coming out and visiting. It's a beautiful spot. Come and look at what everybody's done with their loved ones' headstones. But as always, come with respect. No vandalizing. Leave it the way you found it when you got here. What are your thoughts on Whiskeytown Cemetery here?
It's really pretty.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've been coming here since I was little, so it's kind of cool just seeing that everybody can put whatever they want.
So Cheryl,
Yes.
your thoughts?
Actually, I love it out here. It's kind of sad that they're no longer letting people be buried here because I wouldn't mind it if I was buried here. It's peaceful. I love how everyone has done, different things with their loved ones, things that were special to them. What's neat is when you get a breeze, you can hear a lot of the wind chimes that people have left out. But it's just a beautiful place. It's really peaceful here. And yeah, I think everyone should just come out and make a day of it. Come out here for a little bit, pay your respects, then go to the lake and go swimming and have a good time.
It looks like we have just discovered the original section of the cemetery here at Whiskeytown. I didn't realize where it was. We just stumbled across it. There's the entrance there. So there's one of the oldest headstones. What's the date on that, Cheryl?
1860.
It says 1860. There's only one other one older than that, and I'm not sure where it's at. I'm sure it's right around this area. It'd be 1859. Let's go see what that one says right up here. And if you look at the shape of this headstone, this is what a lot of the headstones look like that date back to the 1800s. What's that one say there?
1889.
Okay, so that's 1889. So this is the original section of the cemetery when it was put here in 1960. What do we have here?
It died in 1876.
Do we have a name?
W. Kessler. So it looks like those are family. That's a Kessler, and this is a Kessler. And let me check the one right next to it, because that might be family too. Yep, it is a Kessler. Died in 1861.
So these people were originally buried in the Whiskeytown Cemetery, which is now under the lake. And this headstone here is the Williams family. And they also were probably buried at Whiskeytown. This was kind of a neat setup. This is the edge of the cemetery. And it goes way back in there. This is a pretty large cemetery. And what's also kind of unique about the cemetery, it has its own pet cemetery as well. Pet cemetery is across the road, but there are some headstones amongst the oaks for man's best friend and beloved cats, birds, and any other pets. Like I said, it's just across the road from the cemetery. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a look into Whiskeytown Cemetery. Like I said, I enjoy coming here. I know it's kind of a morbid thing to say, enjoy coming to a cemetery, but it's a very beautiful spot. I enjoy walking through, looking at all the different memorials and what people have done for their loved ones. And this is kind of a special place for me. It always has been and pretty much always will be. And hopefully one day the county will let people be buried out here again, and we can continue on with this tradition. But for right now, that will do it for me today. Come and join me on another adventure here soon. Subscribe, like, and we'll see you on the next one. So, Sam, my fellow adventurer, what are your thoughts on Whiskeytown Cemetery here?
It's really pretty.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been coming here since I was little, so it's kind of cool just seeing that everybody can put whatever they want. Yeah.